What is up, everyone? Welcome to the 6 Scale Scoundrels channel. My name is Cody, aka the Stone Mandalorian, Stone Mando, Stone, whatever you want to call me. Today, y'all seen from the thumbnail, I am taking a look at and reviewing for y'all here today in this video the Hot Toys Clone Wars Ahsoka. I've been wanting to add this figure to my display, my collection for quite a while now, so freaking stoked to finally be getting this thing open and reviewed. Just a really great looking figure. Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters ever since I saw the Clone Wars. So a funny story real quick. I seen the Clone Wars show on Cartoon Network before I ever saw the Clone Wars movie. So just a little quick fun fact. But now that I have this representation of her, this is her like Season 7 Siege of Mandalore, Season 7 Clone Wars look. It's just going to look so epic in my display. I think I'm going to throw it with my Darth Maul, my Savage, kind of like in my Clone Wars area display. So this is just going to be such an epic piece to add. But let me quit yapping. Let's open this figure, take a quick look at the accessories and stuff like that, and then we'll look at the figure itself because I'm stoked. I'm itching to get this thing in my freaking glass cabinet, man. Okay, so I have already taken a quick look at this figure before. I did not get to take it out of the box just yet, but let's do that now. So you take this awesome slipcover off, and we're greeted with another beautiful slipcover, and this is just so freaking badass, dude. Just really beautiful prints that they have. And then here she is. So let's get all the accessories and stuff laid out, and then we'll look at the figure itself. Here's a hologram of Yoda. Got some really cool like little lines in there to kind of simulate that look of a hologram. Very like light baby blue, translucent color to it. Gives off the effect pretty well. And here's Anakin as well. Same exact vibe as Yoda, just the translucent baby blue plastic gives off the illusion of a hologram very well. And finally, the last up for the hologram characters. And this is Obi-Wan, and it's really cool how they actually captured some pretty decent detail in these little figurines, and with the translucent plastic, with the little even with the little bits of here. I'll just grab this one. Even with the little bits of facial detail that they have on it, you can tell who they're trying to simulate here. Like you can see, even here, the translucency is not super clear, but it's just enough. There's like a nice bluish hue to the entire thing, no matter what lighting or no matter what's behind it or what's not behind it. And here's a thermal detonator that also comes with Ahsoka. Nice silver paint to it, little dot of red there. Even the sculpted details have a little bit of a wash in there just to kind of highlight the detail, sculpted detail itself. The back of that looks actually kind of, is this open or something? The bottom of it has like a little bit more sculpt detail, or I should say the paint. The top doesn't really have, except for the front. This part does. And here's the communicator hologram piece. And then forgive my hands, my calluses here. I do physical labor and I'm a weightlifter, so that's just going to happen. But very cool detail on the hologram communicator device. Nice, like, so that looks like metal. It looks like a piece of metal and brass. So the paint is beautiful. I love the chromy reflectiveness of it. Very cool. This is pretty much the effect that you're going for. This is Anakin on the hologram base, and once you put this in our hands, it does so. This is not like the Commander Cody one that has a USB attachment, so it actually lights up. But even still, the blue hueness of it, it still looks like the way it catches the light, it kind of does still look illuminated. So these are still cool pieces if you wanted to use them. I would just be very careful when you plug the little peg holes into the hologram thingamajig. I'm blanking, y'all. Just be very careful when you're pressing down on it. You don't want to break any of these separate sculpted little pieces that are off of the initial little hologram thing. But man, oh, sorry, hitting the camera, y'all. The paint on this thing is just beautiful, dude. As always, with any Hot Toys piece that comes with movable eyes or separate rolling eyeballs, which is pretty much just standard now, you're going to get one of these little tools to help adjust those eyes. And then, of course, you have your base and your standard crotch grabber set. And I will say this base is definitely a little more on the plain side, not really a whole lot going on to it. It does have the plaque, says Ahsoka Tano with it. But I'm thinking about going baseless in my display anyway, so I don't even know if I'm going to use this. But we'll just see. I'll probably use it for now, to be honest. Here's Ahsoka's white cloak, which she does wear throughout the Clone Wars from time to time. But it's got there is a little bit of a wire in here, so you can adjust it if you want to have it swaying in the wind and whatnot. The hood's going to be nice on it. I'm not going to display my Ahsoka with this hood on, but it is cool that they throw it in as an option because I do like the way it looks. It's just not for my display. But the stitching on here is very nice. Feels like there's a nice thick fabric, like it's got like a very nice good lay to it. No complaints here. So I'm just going to do a quick run through of the hands, and then I will give you all a closer look at the sabers. Oh, whoops. So just a quick look at the hands. There's a couple open hand gestures, some different fisting hands, some sea grasp hands. There's also, as usual, some extra wrist pegs just in case you have a oopsie with your figure. So that's always nice of Hot Toys to include. Now, let's take a closer look at these sabers. All right, so the coloration on these is not my thing. Definitely, we all know if you're a Hot Toys collector, you know they could do a lot better with their blades. There's just not like a whole lot of color or saturation to them. If anything, these look more like white blades than blue blades. But at that point in the Clone Wars, these sabers were rebuilt by Anakin for her, so they were blue sabers, not green. So not to say that this is what they were trying to do blue here, clearly, but I'm saying it's more of a, it's just way too, there's no color to these. Now let's take a look at the sabers, because the sabers are beautifully done. Just a very, very nice, bright, shiny chrome finish, silver paint. All the little knobs and buttons that should be painted are painted well. Little dots of red here. I don't know if those, I don't really know Ahsoka's sabers very well. I don't know if those red ones, I would assume that's the ignition switch for the blades. But just really nice detail to them. And now these are the sabers that Anakin built for Ahsoka. So really great, just a really clean look. I love that silver shine. It's almost got like a, it's just a really pretty look. And then again, the blades, these, I don't know. I don't know. It's just so watered down and weak. I just don't think these are worth adding to your display. Now, I'm not saying now if you want to, and I know people that do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not for me personally. These sabers will take up space in your display, and if they were more saturated with the color, like if this was like a straight blue, I would think twice about trying to fit these into my display. But with it just being like this, I will probably end up. What I'm not noticing here is there a way to, I need to look at the figure, because I don't know if there's a way to hang these sabers on her hilt or not. Or hang the hilt of her sabers onto the figure or not, but I'll have to check that out when I get to the figure. All right, so here is Ahsoka, and I gotta say, man, just based on aesthetic alone, I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. I love the look of the tailor, and it's very minimal, but it's there. It's just a great looking figure, man. And for them to take this animated likeness, let's just go ahead and dive in here. To take an animated character and bring it into a live action likeness, I really like what's going on here. So I will say that the eye, it does look a little bug eyed. Hot Toys is kind of notorious for doing that with some of their female sculpts, so I do realize that. However, from the shelf, I don't know. I just want the representation. I'm actually planning on picking up Ahsoka the White, the Peridia look, the Rosario Dawson portrayal. Sorry, there might be a little bit of dust on this figure. I did get this used at a Comic-Con in Tennessee this past year. But I like this kind of like spandex material they have on the pants here. Very accurate to her Siege of Mandalore look. Like kind of like a vinyl. I don't know what material this is, right? I want to be very careful with it though. But all the textures and everything, it's a great looking piece. Look at the yellows and the oranges there on her gauntlet. Little bits of weathering here and there. Very, very nice looking piece. Look at her Leku right here. Very, very awesome details. I'm going to have to clean this up later. It's cool also. This is my first figure with silicone arms. So that's another really great look, is the seamless arms at the elbow there and the shoulder joint. That's very, very nice. So this is a beautiful head sculpt. Again, I do know that it's kind of bug-eyed looking, but overall, I still think it's just such a great looking piece. And I just really wanted some Ahsoka representation for 1/6 presentation. And honestly, I really like this look of her too. I really like her Clone Wars getup, her Clone Wars outfit. Now, what I'm curious about is I don't see anywhere to clip her lightsabers on. That's a little bit disappointing. So maybe I need to watch a review or something. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Anybody in the comments wants to share with me on how. I also don't know how this material, it makes me nervous. Going to be not really trying to pose this one up. Well, actually, it can actually get some pretty decent range of motion right there, though, even with not too bad. Not bad. Feels pretty good. Everything in hand. The seamless silicone arms, that's a surprise. That actually looks surprisingly good. I've always been iffy about silicone, but then I ended up pulling the trigger, or I haven't pre-ordered it just yet, but I'm going to pre-order it. I'm going to get that brand new Spider-Man Brand New Day all silicone seamless Hulk. So this is a cool kind of way for me to just kind of get familiar with it. Let me just try it real quick. Yeah, see, that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome, man. I don't want to bend the elbows too much, but what a cool freaking piece, man. I cannot wait to get her somewhat posed up and get her on the shelf, man. And this face sculpt, her Leku is done very nicely, or I should say this is her Montrals, and then the Leku is what hangs down. But they're painted very nicely. There's like a slight They're a little bit stiff, but there is a slight malleableness to it. But I wouldn't quite say it's pliable, but it is somewhat of a soft rubber plastic. I wish it was a little bit softer, but let's just see how the... it still articulates, it still moves pretty well, actually. It's not bad. Not really a whole lot of side to side, but I'm not really going to be doing anything crazy. I'm more of a simple museum poser for my display myself, but yeah, pretty great looking figure though, honestly, man. I'm just really glad to officially have her in the display in my collection. Okay, so my overall thoughts on this figure is, I know it's a little bit dated. It is about 4 years old at this point in time. It came back out in 2022, I believe. So the material that was used is very thin. It makes me nervous to pose with a whole lot, like especially this. Like, right, I don't know if this is like, I don't know what this material is, but it's very, very thin. Same thing with the upper torso piece. It makes me very nervous to pose too extremely. And and once this turns around, you'll actually see the joints on the back of the knees here. Some of the newer fabric, you can slightly see the joints on here. Some of the newer figures and newer fabric, you cannot see those joints, if at all, very little. So, however, that being said, those are my qualms about this figure, so I'm kind of nervous to pose it super dynamically. Silicone arms are very, very cool. However, again, just with me being kind of new to the seamless silicone arm deal kind of vibe, I want to take my time, and I don't want to leave it in like a crease position and risk messing up the silicone or anything like that at the elbow. So it is cool that it's able to do that. It's great for photography and videos and certain posing, stuff like that. But as far as for me, I just want this to look awesome. So I'm going to be very ginger and modest with the posing of these silicone arms. However, I am impressed with how good they look. I love the seamless look. It makes it look a lot more lifelike, and I really love it. I really, really dig it. So that being said, I wouldn't even call them issues, but all my concerns, I would say, aside, this figure is awesome, man. Ahsoka is one of the coolest characters. She's a strong female character, kind of like Leia or Padme. I just love her intuition, her stubbornness, her nurturing, gentle, kind spirit. And I love Ahsoka. She's a great character, and I love Rosario Dawson's interpretation of her now in the live-action Ahsoka series. But that aside, live action, them taking, again, I know I mentioned it already, but like similar to what they did with Malgus and Savage Press, I love them taking an animated likeness and kind of putting a lifelike, realistic spin on it. And I think that they did very good with this figure. One thing that I think Hot Toys needs to work on is something else that I pointed out earlier in the video, in the review, is just the bug-out look of her. I would love to, if they could just make the eye sockets a little bit smaller, it would look a little bit more natural. It looks like she's surprised or startled or something, but it's a little bit expressionless. Like, obviously, it's a very stoic-looking head sculpt. It's meant to be serious and, somewhat emotionless. But it would be really cool to see Hot Toys and they've started doing that as of recent too. Do a little bit more, take some chances and liberties with some head sculpts and give them some expression, whether it be mad or sad or happy, whatever. But that being said, this is a super incredible piece. Even though it's about 5 years old at this point in time, I'm still super stoked to have it. It's going to look epic in my display cabinet among my Clone Wars area of my shelf. So yeah, man. This being said, this is one that I feel like this was worth buying back for. I spent $200 on it. I'm pretty happy with it. Again, I had the 1/6 representation. It looks so good. The seamless silicone arms are pretty rad. I thought my first interaction with the seamless silicone body would be the Brand New Day Hulk that's coming next year in 2027, but I totally blanked that this had silicone arms. So here we are. I have my first experience with them, so it's pretty cool. I'm very pleased with the process and how they look. So, well, that is going to be a wrap. Let me quit yapping. Thank you all very much for making this review a part of your day. Do us a favor, follow us over on Instagram and subscribe to us here on YouTube. Hit that like button. And I hope you enjoyed the review. We have a lot more reviews and live streams to come here on the 6 Scale Scoundrels channel. We live stream every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We may even change that, but we'll let y'all know. So that being said, everybody, thank you all so much for making this video a part of your day. I will see you next time. Happy collecting.